Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have another Red Dead Online video for you guys. I'm sorry I haven't made one in some time. I've just been so pissed off at Rockstar for what they did with Outlaw Pass 5. But in today's video, I want to talk about something that has bothered me about Red Dead Online ever since the game first launched. And that is that I believe that parts of the introduction are misleading. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys agree with me on this, and I'll explain what I mean. And what I mean by the introduction is that initial cutscene. So when you first start out in the game, you make a new character and you're at the prison, and then you do those first, beginning missions with Horley, and you also steal the horses. There's parts of it that are really misleading that when you do it the first time, you think some of these things are in the game, but in reality, they're not. So here we go. Let's get started on this. So this game, I think, actually has a pretty strong introduction. I think most people can agree with me, Red Dead Online actually has a pretty interesting introduction. So the game starts out of you being actually thrown in prison right after you make a character, and you have been framed for a murder you did not commit, and you have been framed for Jessica Leclerc's husband's murder. And Horley ends up busting you out of prison, and you meet Jessica Leclerc. You get introduced to the camp. At first, it's a great introduction. I think it's much better than GTA Online's introduction, where you fly into Los Santos, Lamar picks you up, and then you get into a street race and just do a few jobs. I think that Red Dead Online has a better introduction. However, though, some things here are not completely correct. So let's start off here. Let's start off here with Jessica Leclerc. So Jessica Leclerc, like I was saying earlier, she talks about wanting to find her husband's killer. She knows that you're innocent, you've been framed, and therefore she trusts you with this. Okay, so the first misleading thing. Like I was saying, your character has been framed for a murder they didn't commit. Jessica Leclerc's husband was murdered in Blackwater by Teddy Brown. Your character happened to walk in there at the wrong place, the wrong time, and the authorities mistook your character as being the murderer and arrested you. Now, Jessica Leclerc has a pretty good idea of who did this. This is a conspiracy, and Teddy Brown is the person, the notorious outlaw, is the one who actually murdered her husband. And the other conspirators are Amos Lansing and Grace Lansing, and they are a wealthy couple that wants to steal Jessica's husband's land and wealth. And then you also had Jeremiah Shaw, and Jeremiah Shaw was a corrupt banker who had actually forged deeds to the land and was basically trying to scam Jessica out of her inheritance. And she shows you this picture right here. Take a look at these pictures because they're pretty important.
Whatever it takes, because you and your accomplices, you're the only other victims of their lies still alive. You see, you walked into the town at approximately the same time my husband was shot in the back, but by another gun, firing different bullets to those you possessed when you were arrested. These bullets, this was their mistake. You were rounded up and sentenced to death, all because you came to town and didn't talk too much and seemed like you were nasty. Anyway, here they are. The people who run Blackwater. Mr. Jeremiah Shaw, banker, real estate speculator, and crook. Mr. Amos Lansing, ranch owner, speculator, and crook. Mrs. Grace Lansing, his wife, society patroness, lover of the arts, crook, and my former best friend. Teddy Brown, her disgraced brother, outlaw, wanted man, and still in contact with them. All I ask of you is your help in finding out quite what happened.
So you guys heard it right there, and this is why, in my personal opinion, I believe that Red Dead Online has a much stronger introduction than GTA Online, because they're actually setting up a story right here. You've been framed for murder you didn't commit, you want to prove your innocence, you want to get these people that got you in prison, and you also want to get justice for Jessica. Now, I was very interested in this storyline, and I really want an answer to this storyline. The thing that's misleading here is that this storyline has not had any kind of ending or conclusion for almost 2 years now at this point. Now, at first, I was kind of forgiving of this because I understood, Rockstar is going to add stuff over time. I get that. And in the initial story missions that just come with Red Dead Online before the DLCs, in the very final mission, you actually confront Teddy Brown. Now, Teddy Brown, at the end of that, he actually admits that he is the one who killed Jessica's husband, but then he refuses to name his conspirators. And then Jessica just shoots him, and that's it. Now, in May of 2019, we had an update. And with that update, they added more story missions. They added, few low honor missions and high honor missions, but then they added the one specific story mission called Destroyed by Grief, and that was the Jessica Leclerc mission. And in this mission, you protect Jessica as she goes into Blackwater, and she confronts Amos Lansing and also Jeremiah Shaw. Now, she has an argument with Amos Lansing, and he denies any involvement in her husband's murder. But it's pretty obvious that he had a part in it. He helped to plan it, and basically this turns into a shootout. Jessica kills Amos. And then you and your friend, depending on which team you're on, you chase down Jeremiah Shaw and you confront him. And Horley finds out that all the signatures and documents that he made were fake. So Amos Lansing is dead, Teddy Brown is dead, and Jeremiah Shaw fled. He's no longer a threat. The issue is that there's still one more conspirator, which is Grace Lansing. And Grace Lansing seems to be the mastermind, the wife of Amos Lansing. Her brother was Teddy Brown. So it seems like she is the one who planned this whole thing out. She's the main conspirator. And right when you get out of Blackwater, you save Jessica, it makes it seem like they're going to continue this story. You're going to get an answer, and we haven't gotten any kind of answer. We haven't. It's been nearly 2 years. Like I said, 2 years ago, May of 2019 is when this last story mission came out. So when are we actually going to get an answer to this? Because if somebody starts out the game and sees this first, introduction, they see those pictures, they see, oh, I'm going to get these guys. And then you find out that, no, you don't get the last person on this list. Make a conclusion to this damn storyline, Rockstar, because a lot of people, including myself, want this to be finished. The next misleading thing that we have on here is the thing that probably the most amount of people are familiar with, and that is with the horse thieves. Now, in the mission Honor Among Horse Thieves, this is another mission that you play in the introduction. You meet Clive and Clay Davies, the two brothers from the single player, and basically they tell you to go and steal this horse for them. So you go and steal the horse for them, and then right after you actually steal the horse, this is actually what they tell you.
About you, dead right. Ain't that dandy? Get that horse hidden away, Clive, and ready to move out as soon as we can. All right. Here's the money you earned. Now listen, Horley came by and gave me a message. He said to go see your friend Cripps up at your camp. Now listen to me for a second. Any other decent horses you find, we'll buy them. Just as soon as we are set up, okay?
What? Any decent horses you find, you bring them here, we'll buy them just as soon as we're set up. When you play this mission, this makes it seem like these guys are going to be in charge of some kind of horse stealing business, almost like it's going to be an import-export version of Red Dead Online, where, you find exotic horses in the world, you steal them, and you bring it back to these two brothers, and you sell it to them. That's what it makes it seem like. The very first time I played this, and the very first time a lot of people played this, they thought these two brothers were going to be part of that horse stealing business. The problem is, this was never added to the game. It's been almost 2.5 years since Red Dead Online came out, just as soon as we're set up. Well, how long is it going to take you exactly to get set up? 2.5 years later, still not set up, and even if you find wild horses in the world and you tame them, you still can't bring it to the two brothers. This was such a letdown. Seriously, why can't we bring horses to these guys? If you're going to put in this huge cutscene where these guys talk about bringing them stolen horses, then let us bring in stolen horses to them. Don't just add them in one mission and then just throw them away, never to be used again. It's just stupid. And the last misleading thing on here, it only appears for a few seconds, but this is the one that pisses me off the most personally, and it's this right here. Let's slow this down. You can only see it for a few seconds. So after you come back to the camp, after you do that horse mission, you talk to Cripps, and you'll see this cutscene of basically introducing you to Red Dead Online. But at the very end of it, you see a few seconds, you see up in the Grizzlies area, you see what looks like a few outlaws, looks like players, sitting up on a cliff watching a train. And if you look very carefully at this train, what type of train is this? This is not a cargo train. This is a passenger train. Now, this is really important because this makes it seem like you are able to rob trains. They're observing the train. They see the passenger train in the background. This train does not appear in the online. It only appears in the single player. It's very important to know. In the online, all we see is cargo trains. We just see trains where there's just various cargo on them. That's it. This is clearly a passenger train. Now, in the single player, there is two types of passenger trains. You have, the average kind of, working class train for passengers, and then you have the rich trains, which are much more nicer. The people have more money on them, and there's generally more loot on these trains. And this is what people have been asking for so long. People have been asking for robberies in this game, so specifically train and bank robberies, for such a long time since this game has been out. And this game has been out for nearly 2.5 years now at this point, and we still do not have that. we don't have train robberies. Instead, we're misled in this trailer by a bunch of things. We're misled that the story is going to continue. We're misled that we're going to be able to bring in horses to steal them and sell them. And we're misled into believing that there's trains like this in the world. Even though it just appears for a few seconds, I never forgot that. 2.5 years later, I still have that image in the back of my head of just that train driving past slowly. See that passenger train, and I'm thinking to myself, did they ever even plan train robberies in this game? Why would they show us a passenger train if there's not even any passenger trains in the online in the first place? But that's pretty much it for this video. And look, the purpose of this video is not for me to attack Red Dead Online. I love this game. If you guys seen my videos on Red Dead Online, I compliment this game a lot of times. I talk about why I like this game. The reason I wanted to make this game is because I'm just pissed off at the lack of support that this game gets, pissed off what Rockstar recently did with Outlaw Pass 5, and I wanted to show something here in the introduction in which I personally think a bunch of things are misleading. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. If you don't agree, let me know also. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do drop a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.